What's good, everybody? C Jack here, bringing you another awesome series. Welcome to episode one of C Jack and Mathis. I'm your host. I'm C Jack, and this is.
And this is Richard Mathis.
And today we're going to bring you episodes 1 and 2 review of Daredevil Born Again, also known as Daredevil Deciphered. Triple D there. First, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And I just watched both episodes yesterday, so I am ready.
Awesome. Without any delay, we're going to hop right into it. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to hit that share, comment, subscribe button. And also check out Ignis Umbra on all the contacts that we have right in the description below. And also check out Random. It used to be called CJ's Random, but I thought I was too self-indulgent. Check out Random on Facebook, and let's go ahead and get this party started. All right, so out the gate. Daredevil 1, Daredevil 1, episode 1 of Daredevil Born Again. The death of Foggy. I'm gonna be hopping right into this, but then
hopping right into it, going straight for the throat.
Straight for the throat, right? The death of Foggy. Good time had by all. Matthew Murdock and crew. Just having a good time. Mind you, this is a year ago, and Foggy, growing the beard. You know what I'm saying? A little more mature, a little more Foggy. You know what I'm saying? Being happy and all. And then he's just getting whacked by Poindexter. Can't take nobody that seriously. Name that, aka Bullseye.
Should have been on trial.
Yeah, exactly. That should be on trial next for our other sister show, which is coming up next, by the way. How did you expect Foggy to die already, like out the gate? It wasn't even a good 2 minutes. I even clocked it.
All right, so I settled in to watch it. And my wife immediately was like she sees everything. She sees all the setup, and she knows something sad's supposed to happen, but she doesn't know what. And I know it's going to happen because I'm like that, but I didn't tell her. And she's like, I'm not ready for Foggy to die.
It's Foggy, right?
It was like she knew immediately. So I don't know if I would have known ahead of time, but the way they set it up, I think everybody it was obvious in hindsight what was going to happen.
No, it's true. And and Matthew Dede tries to his best to eliminate any casualties. Again, we're still in the dark, folks, why he was like the primary. And they start off the hallway scene. I'm glad they didn't alter that from the Netflix style.
Yeah.
Going up the stairs, the shurikens in and out of Matthew Murdock. That man can take punishment, man.
Oh, he gets beat.
He gets beat.
That's his second superpower, is just being able to handle a beating.
Yeah, that part entirely. And it goes to where he goes too far, practically kills Bullseye, and he takes off his cowl and gives the whole Batman Beyond Terry McGinnis vibe that I got, never again, and just tosses it to the wind. And he basically makes a vow, based upon almost going too far, almost killing Bullseye.
Yeah.
Not to wear the Donna costume again. So we fast forward, like I said, now we're back to the present. Poindexter's on trial, like you said. He should be in jail for that name alone.
Maybe his parents.
Yeah. He can't help that. Folks, find the parents. And of course, Matthew shows up to the hearing. It's his best friend's death, and he was like, and it was weird for him because his opening statement was that, it's kind of weird being on the other side of the court, as a witness versus being a defense attorney in this scene. And he's quite right. And you hear a heartbeat, and Karen walks through the door, looking gorgeous as ever. And he's like, oh, okay, almost throw him off his game, giving his testimony and whatnot. And I did skip over this. Rich, did you notice there's a new panoramic view of how he tunes in, hearing conversations?
Yes.
Awesome,
the way that it actually constantly changes between like a super wide cinematic view to a standard view. And I was really confused at first because I was like, what are these black bars? Like, why?
I agree.
Is it normal for it to be so wide and so narrow? And then it shifts and yeah, they're constantly putting us in a different perspective because he can't see.
No.
Well, he kind of sees more than we can, but also like he can't see tattoos, he can't see writing, right?
Not traditional sense.
Yeah. Well, like not at all. He sees everything three-dimensionally,
True.
which means that anything printed is blank to him.
Yeah.
Because he's just seeing like sonar. So and so I think it's interesting though, the whole series so far, when you see Matt, most of the time everything is a little bit weird on purpose because
No.
that's how he sees the
Point of
world.
view. Right. And the creators do a very, very good point to point that out, because the creators, you should be discombobulated. You know, it's like to the traditional eyes, like, well, how are we seeing this? What is this kind of art form or cinematography that we're seeing? It's supposed to. And I absolutely agree with your assessment. I never considered that. And they're talking about Matthew back at the trial. I was talking to her, and they were like, so it's been a while. It's like, Karen, what's going on? Their relationship has been strained because of this. Of course, they lost their friend. Like, well, you never return my calls. You never talk to me. Like, what's going on with you? And she's like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for Foggy. Let's just keep it honest. And it's true. That was the case with them. And she says, by the way, I thought you might want this. He's like, don't do that, Karen. Don't do that. And it was what's left.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here's a piece of trash. Like, just to remind you.
Dude, okay. I was about to ask you that. I'm like, bro, like, come on. I mean, he failed. Give the guy a break. Is that what you're going for? Or
well, because I don't even think like it didn't seem like she was a super big fan of Daredevil anyways.
True.
Like right, both of them were kind of like, you're risking your life, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. And so the whole concept of her giving that is just like, I think it's just spite, right? She's just like stabbing him in the back a little bit. She's just like turning the knife a little bit. Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Pain, you know.
Literally an unnecessary twist, pun intended. Wilson Fisk. So I love the cutscenes, by the way. Just like it's genuine in an opera, a soap opera, because he comes back. He's like, okay, you know, his wife takes over the family business. You would say they're married, so technically take over the family business. She's doing, you know, the finances, you know, the underhand dealings, whatever. And he's like, hey, you know what? And Fisk is basically like, I'm going to run for mayor. You know, I'm going to just go for it. She's like, okay, whatever you feel comfortable, not patronizing him, but her taking over. How do you feel like her taking over the enterprise while he's forefronting?
Well, first of all, did you get that she was as surprised as everybody else when he showed up? Because I thought this was planned at first, but then when I was rewatching it, I realized, based off of her words later, she had no idea that he was back.
That's what I'm saying. He said, you know what? I feel like running for mayor. Like it was like, she's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. Right. Nobody knew. I thought it was just me, but the way that you said that, I agree with you.
Yeah. So like up until that point, she had her other lover. She thought Fisk was dead. She thought he was never coming back. She's just conducting a business meeting with the rest of the crime lords or whatever. And suddenly he's there and everything's different. And he's there and he's not just like, I'm going to take back over the business. I'm going to become a mayor. Like,
I was in genuine shock. It's like, and we'll talk about that. I put a pin on that for right now because how he did it is Machiavellian, actually. And being the next level stage of villainy, like Lex Luthor, I'll put a pin on that. And so to the point to where she is like, okay, well, do whatever is best, dear. And like, just like anybody else from the forefront, from Echo, which we're going to put a pin on that one. You were shot in the face. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, you know where I'm going with this. So Matthew, comes back to him. He's doing much better for himself. In fact, it's I know a new firm he partnered up with Murdoch and McDuffie, which I'm very happy for him. You know, he didn't just sit in his wallow in his self-pity. He became better. He became better at his practice, you know. Has a team, even has a fixer named Jerry. I like to call him Fixer. You know, basically you find information for me. A couple of new characters involved. Do you think that the firm, basically they're partners, or I wasn't clear on that, or does he run it?
I think they're full partners, right?
That's what I thought.
Normal law firm. one thing I was just, and I'm curious what your opinion is
Mhm.
why have Karen in the episode at all, only to have her basically just be gone?
Yeah, well, I think that I think she might come back once she finds out that Matthew's gonna. My theory is this: Matt's going to be pushed, and this is probably the tail end of episode 2, but we're going to get there. Matt's going to be pushed. I'm waiting for that push. Basically, it's like when you watch. I'm going to be all over the place. Sorry, Rich. When you watch Captain America 4, and you're waiting for Harrison Ford to turn into the Red Hulk. Okay, he's going to do it here. He's going to do it here. I think it's a build to Matt actually wearing the cowl again, being Daredevil. Like, nope, I made a promise. I don't care how tempted I am. I made a promise. And then she's going to make an appearance. That's my theory.
I really like that idea that she is part of Daredevil more than part of Matt. And right now, there's no Daredevil. He's retired.
Yes.
This is all Matt. Episode 1, episode 2. We're skipping ahead a little bit. But these first 2 episodes, they're just Matt.
I love it.
Minus the opening scene, which has Karen. So I think the idea that when he becomes a whole person again, because right now we only see half of who he is, then maybe his other half will include Karen and maybe other Daredevil characters too.
That's actually a deep perspective. I didn't even consider that. I knew why the formula was being made, but yeah, it's because of his own hubris. And no matter what, in the city, it's been a year later, and I'm pointing that out because the city's gone downhill. And ironically, Fisk wants to run. Of course he does, because it's like, okay, you know what? It's not going to get easier for me than this. Is this truly a hidden agenda by Fisk? Or is he genuinely feel like remorse? Like, you know what? I just got shot in the face by my apprentice, but whatever. So we're coming to that, right? So speaking of which, so Matt's new partner sets him up on a date with Heather. Sorry, guys, give me 1 minute. Look at my notes. Heather Glenn. Oh, yeah. And she did it clever. It's like an old high school way that she did it. Like, hey, I'm Matt. I understand you need an attorney. Well, I'm Heather. I'm actually a therapist. Okay. And they're like this, awkward silence. You called me. Yeah, because you said you needed someone. And then they put 2 and 2 together. It was a setup date. I thought that was very cute.
Yeah. To be honest, I thought she was setting him up for therapy. Like,
good point.
I didn't realize it was a date because we all know that Matt needs serious therapy. So I was just like, I was like, that's a clever way to get him to talk to somebody. But no. He was just, she was just thinking, hey, set up her 2 friends to hook up. So that's good.
No, it was good. And it was the witty retort that they had between them, because I must have watched the scene like 3 times to get it right in my head. She was like, yeah, this wouldn't work. It'd be a disaster. I agree. Yeah, I don't date lawyers because they always got to be contradictory and they got to be right all the time. Well, what do you mean? See what I mean? And he's like, no, just have a seat. And it went from an awkward, you know what's funny? I hate setup dates too. I think everybody does, unless it actually goes good, which is a roll of the dice. But at the end of the day, they were smiling. They were, see how serious her face is? And the next scene, they're just talking. They're just having a cliche coffee, having a good time. I thought this was much, like you said, Matt needs a therapy bad, but it was much needed. Now, the coup de grace, which this scene, guys, I no exaggeration, watched this 5 times. Like, my inner theater came out in me. Wilson Fisk. So, he becomes, wait, I'm to make sure I'm not getting ahead of anything. Yeah, so Matt's not entirely, I knew I was right. Matt is not entirely convinced that Fisk actually gave up his life of crime. And he's like, you know what? Before this meetup, by the way, he's a new PI, his internal guy. I call him his fix-it man, Jerry. See what you can find about his campaign. See what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. What are you going to look into? I'm going to look into other avenues to see what's going on. I've seen what I love about this new version, and this is definitely a different take. A different take on the original Daredevil from Netflix is the BB report is being introduced. And episode 1 keeps it extremely ominous. As a regular blogger interviewing people on the street, hey, how do you feel about Fisk for Mayor? And I love the reality of this series because it's genuinely mixed here. I think he's a monster. I think Daredevil should have killed him. I think this, that, and the third. I might be exaggerating, folks, but pretty much he should have been locked up for life. Other people genuinely love him.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your take on that? Like, I don't know how people can even love the guy, especially when he's been outed since the last streaming series.
So at first, I really felt like the BB report was just kind of like a throwaway thing to make the show seem more current with the way like TikTok and stuff like that is kind of where people get their news from nowadays, right? So it says something like Americans get like over 40% of their news updates from short form content like Reels and TikTok. And so I thought this BB report thing was just a throwaway. We find out in episode 2 that it's actually she's the daughter of Ulrich. And I thought that was so good. And she's serious. She's like a serious reporter. So so even though she seems like just like a social media nonsense kind of person, she's actually a hard-hitting reporter, but living in today, which is where the viewers are.
I agree. It's not, and we're gonna do this, folks. Screw it. You're absolutely right. First of all, even Fisk was like, when his campaign manager, he was like, hey, I didn't know she was going to ask that question. I'm sorry. And just like a reporter does, like on the record, yes, da 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 da. By the way, I'm going to blindside you with this. He was, my uncle, and G was like, oh, I see, my Wilson Fisk. Oh, I see. Okay, well, very good. That was for 5 minutes. And he was like, no, it was quite all right. She's not to be underestimated. And he knows out the gate, she's just as clever if the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and she was on to something. She said, by the way, and she's clever. If you really want to win the city, you need to win. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So staying on task, right? The meeting of the century. Richard, you couldn't be more passive aggressive on this meet. So Fisk is, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever. He's like, no, it's quite all right. Let him through. It's been a long time, Matthew. He's like, yes, it has. You want to come over, have a pie or have a drink or something? Absolutely. And they meet up. This is what made episode 1 for me. I was like, honestly, it wasn't dragging because episode 1 was basically a pace. I understand that's needed, but I was just in the writers were brilliant for this. So they're inside the cafe, and they're just having small talk, and I love how they're having a small talk, like they didn't just try to kill each other. And well, technically Fisk did, which Matt points out. He's like, so, you've been doing better. How are you doing? You lost weight. Like you said before, Rich, he sees things better than we do. I can tell you lost weight, gained some muscle. I'm not here to spar with you, Matt. No. Hey, I'm genuinely here to sit down, say how you doing. I'm trying to scratch this itch I have about you in this campaign. I said, what about it? He's like, what are you up to? What are you doing? I'm just running for mayor. It's genuine to it. There's no hidden agenda, no hidden cloak and dagger, which personally I find BS. I'm throwing it out there. It's BS. He has some kind of long game that we just don't see yet.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, I think it's actually possible because Matt can hear if he's telling the truth or not. Maybe. I mean, Kingpin might be good enough that he can lie even to Matt, but I think Fisk is very possibly completely honest in that his goal, his long-term Machiavellian plan is exactly what he told everybody his plan is.
There is no plan. He's telling the truth.
He has a plan. He told everybody his plan. Get rid of the heroes. He did not say he's going to fix the crime problem.
See that very good, Rich. It's in the line, that fine print. He's like, all these costumes. Well, let me finish, right? So he was like, no, I'm just being honest. I'm running for mayor. And this is where my Lex Luthor comes into play, Justice League Unlimited. He literally spent $1 billion just to piss Superman off to become the president of the United States just because he could. So that's what I was thinking. However, what you changed my mind on in this moment, sir, this is why I like working with you. Hey, I said I get rid of the superheroes. I didn't say anything about the crime. It's true, right? So, of course, Matt is like, okay, whatever. And he names everybody off, by the way, MCU.
Yeah.
All the guy, trigger happy guy with a skull on his chest and the web slinging wonder, and you have got to stop. And I am going to be the one to stop this. And it's good that you're doing your, and I love this dynamic. What happened to you being a vigilante? I decided to give up on it because he pushed too far. Matt reluctantly says, yes, if you have to know, yes. And how about you? Bringing back my echo point. I heard, he's like, yes, I understand about legacies and calling it a day and calling it quits on certain things. Well, last I heard, your apprentice shot you in your face. And I thought he was going to reach over and choke. Well, no, he wasn't. Fisk has a temper, but it's tamed. But you can see in his face that he wanted to just strangle him with his eyes like, you know, and he just laughs it off. You know, we all seen it, you know, and they just sit here saying like the gloves are off, I'm here at peace. Then they walk away more resenting than ever. Like, how'd you feel about that?
So I thought that, you know, what we know about Fisk, the way that he killed his dad, and the way that periodically through the show, he has lost his temper, lost his self-control. And while most of the time he is a completely cold, calculating Machiavellian villain, when he loses control, he is a Hulk type character. He just completely loses any kind of self-constraint and just keeps going until they're dead. That's who he is, like, as a person. And we'll talk about episode 2, where we see that even though it happens off screen, he is continuing to lose his temper
Gradually. Yeah.
Already. Like, he lost his temper and killed someone between episode 1 and episode 2. We don't know who yet, but we think it's probably Adam. But
you're right.
But they zoomed in on his hands in episode 2 at the very beginning to show that his hands are all bruised and
yeah.
Yeah, so that's because he still loses control, completely loses control. But in this show is emphasizing that Matt has the same like self-control problem, that he can be pushed too far and he can go completely nuts. And we saw that with Bullseye. And then he was so afraid of himself and what he could do that he quit being Daredevil.
I agree with you. It's about,
and obviously we see that in episode 2 as well.
Yeah. And basically it's about these two men. And no, I want your synopsis on this. It's about these two men. It's basically about control. Because even Fisk says, I love and admire a man who doesn't give in to his nature.
Yeah.
And or betters himself from his nature. And they both walk away. That's what this is really about. So Fisk wins by a landslide. He is officially mayor now. So I'm biting my nails like, dude, this guy's going to keep his promise. He has the power of the city to back him up. Plus, he knows that Daredevil's identity. It'd be too easy to stop Matt in or out of costume. And that's basically what concludes, I believe, episode 1. So we're going to dive into episode 2.
A series like this defines the whole season. So we're going to see this theme of each of these people, good and bad, struggling with their natures and whether they can overcome them to become the best version of themselves. And of course, because it's a comic book show, I think by the end of season 1, we're going to see that Matt has gained control of himself, and he's channeling that rage into something positive. And we're going to see Fisk lose a lot, maybe everything, to show that he has not. That's what I think this theme is of the whole season.
Like the whole thing. I agree with you.
You touched on it. You touched on the self-control aspects. I think that's the whole season.
I agree. It's about control and about between these two titans. No, it's true. It's just like, who's going to push who, and more accurately, who's going to push who first? All right. So now we're going into episode 2. Sorry, brief intermission, folks. I had to get some water. Okay. So if it looks kind of glitchy, that's why. All right. So now we're going to end episode 2, and Fisk opening. It shows him at his desk, you know, oddly enough, kind of like The Office, you know, messing with his pens, adjusting the desk. Is like, and his campaign manager, she tells him like, hey, you need to make an appearance with the police department. You know, you need to stop at the general hospital. You need to stop by, you know, the orphanage, whatever. And Fisk sidebar, like, how old do you think this disc is? You know, and again, they're actually zooming in on that hand thing that you're talking about, Rich, about him doing some previous damage to somebody. And he's like, well, she's like, sir, you need to actually come out and make these appearances because he's already feeling the weight of being mayor. Like, you need to make these appearances. You need to do this. Your first 100 days are lucrative to what's going on. And what I liked about this is that Fisk is on his way to a destination. And what was clever, again, Kingpin, he gets it, man. So he's stuck in traffic. He's like, you know what? I'm fixing this problem. In fact, that's a slogan. Fix can fix it. Clever. He's like, foreman, are you the foreman? Yeah. What's the problem? We got a hole here. We're waiting for the city to finish the zoning. Okay. Tell you what, I am the city. Fix the problem right now. And everybody with their camera phones, again, like you adequately put it, shows that, you know what? Oh, shoot, this mayor got out the car to be in a construction site. Like I said, I deliver on my promises. You know, he said, how's that for optics? In fact, the episode 2, sorry guys, is actually called Optics. And meanwhile, we're talking with Matthew Murdock in regards to his next case being, you know, technically pro bono, because it started with White Tiger. Sorry guys, I'm winging this. That we later find out as well. Okay, we start off with yeah.
So we see an opening scene where Hector, who's the man in the clip right there, who's in court. Hector is just going into a subway station and he sees 2 guys beating on some other guy. And that's all we know at that point. And we actually don't know who Hector is either. At this point, we don't know Hector's White Tiger. Hector is played by Camar de los Reyes, who unfortunately passed away actually. So so this is pretty crazy that probably one of his
final scenes.
Yeah, for sure. And probably something that has the most eyeballs. Like, this is going to be his most successful series, in my opinion. And he didn't get to live to see it. But what a great like testimony to him. So by all means, that's awesome for his legacy that he gets to be here. Anyway, so Hector sees these people. He intervenes. He doesn't have his mystical amulet that he uses as White Tiger. And again, we don't know he is White Tiger at that point. He's fighting and he's beating these 2 guys down. The other guy leaves. One of the guys trips over the other guy. I actually replayed it multiple times to make sure I saw who was at fault. And the guy literally, like, his buddy is down on the ground. Hector is like ready to fight. And the guy trips over his buddy and gets killed by a train, by subway. So fast. It was so fast.
Like reality.
If it happened in real life, none of them would actually know what happened either. Because he just like turns around and he's covered in blood. He has no idea.
Yeah, he wanted to take the guy down. Appreciate that, Rich. He wanted to just, hey, why are you guys picking on this dude? Doesn't concern you, pal. So being a good Samaritan, and again, a good Samaritan, it leads you to that, like you said. And the clips are like in real time. He like, you know, the guy trips over. He was like, oh shoot, he's in shock, like the guy's dead. And then ironically, hands on your head. And he was like, crap, these guys were all cops.
Well, at least 2 of them were cops.
At least 2 of them. That's true. 2 of them were cops. Oh, and more importantly, the individual that was running, we'll get to him in a minute, got away. He, you know, the only witness that Matt has right now, which he's scouring the city for, because if not, this guy is a dead man because he's known as a cop killer right now.
Yeah.
And so Matt was like, okay, well, don't worry, I got your back, in his own traditional sense. And I'm loving how he's doing this as Matthew Murdock. It'd been so much easier doing this on his own as Daredevil. But he's like, no, I can do this. I can do this as Murdock using his gifts. So I don't know which order this is, guys, obviously, but I do notice off the top of my head. So he hired, no, in fact, he tells his fixer, Jerry, hey, do me a favor. I need you to stop by his house, his wife's house, and see what you can dig up. And I know he's lying, obviously Daredevil sense, because his post, he told the truth about being an accident. but it's post race about, is there anything else I should know about? No, nothing at all. And Matthew's obviously dun, 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 you know, it's like, okay, whatever. So good detective work. And this is why when you allow people in your house sidebar, you make sure you keep an eye on them at all times. While his partner is talking to the wife about anything he should dig up, Jerry is like, hey, which way to the restroom? You can be surprised what you can find in under a few minutes looking for the restroom and all this stuff. And by stroke of luck, I gotta get your take on this, Rich. He finds the white tiger costume and the amulet. And like, how did you feel about that? I didn't even think he was gonna be introduced in the series.
Well, to be honest, like the way that he's like, we need his suit. And she's like, oh, I'll go get it ready. And he's like, oh no, I'll go get it. You're really going to just let somebody go into your room and find the clothes? Number one, I struggle to find my suit. Like, I'm not going to let somebody else go in there and try to find my suit for me, let alone like, oh, I'm going to find my wife's dress. No, it's crazy. It's just crazy. I get it that she's shocked or whatever. And maybe she probably has some sort of difficult arrangement with her husband since he's a superhero.
They never specified, did they? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but she has to know because it's literally just in a box under the bed. So she has to know.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. You're right.
So yeah, I was number one, I don't really know much about White Tiger.
Same.
He's just another throwaway character from Marvel. Marvel has like 5,000 heroes. So
Streets level. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was interesting. It does make it a weird thing where the lawyer is supposed to share what he learns with the opposing counsel. But in real life, he probably wouldn't have. He probably would never have told the opposing counsel, oh, hey, just so you know, this guy happens to be a vigilante. And, but it's not relevant to the case. So don't say anything about it. Like, why would you say that?
Like, I'm gonna touch on that. So to answer your question through comment in my theory, in my mind. So Jerry finds the costume. He obviously tells Matt. Matt goes to court, not court. He goes to the holding cell. It's like, dude, listen, I can't. Dude, listen, I can't help you if you don't tell me everything that you know. I told you everything. You need to tell me about the freaking amulet. And he was livid. If I can find it, the prosecution can find it, and it's true. It was, yeah. And it was too damn. But in your defense, it was too damn easy. But in your defense, though, we are perfect for this show coming up. Pop culture court coming soon, guys. But in his defense, he was like, dude, Matt is so green, like the Captain America green. So they were like, Your Honor, can I have the sidebar, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Listen, new evidence has been presented to me. I'm doing my job as a lawyer, letting you know that this guy is White Tiger. Bottom line, he was like, okay, Your Honor, come on. The defense is actually throwing himself, like you said, throwing himself to the wolves by telling us this. Is that a good faith, Your Honor? He did not have his amulet. Check the surface of subway cameras. He did not have his suit on. He wasn't doing this. And I was shocked that the judge was like, reluctantly, he was like, I'll allow it, but you're on thin ice, Murdoch. He said, oh, come on. And even the prosecution, like, this is bullshit. I have to agree with him.
Yeah.
This would never happen to my black ass or anybody else. Come on. Just throw the book at him. I agree with you 2,000%, Rich. But I digress. So we're here now. And yeah, I was shocked. But his green, and this is another victory for Murdoch. If anything, this gives fuel to why he doesn't need to don the costume as Daredevil, in my opinion. Murdoch finds out later down the road, like, okay, this is not going good. He's getting roughed up like in this scene here. Follows the, he looks at one of the cops and he hears him talking like, yeah, we got to take care of this guy. If there's a witness, he's like, Your Honor, I need to find a witness to somebody in the station what really happened and give his testimony. So we're fast forwarding, and sorry guys, in the scene here, unless I'm missing anything. I'm trying to think.
Do you want to talk about the insubordination of the police commissioner? Because I think that's an important scene, and I think it happens right before this. And it does kind of show that Fisk is still the kingpin. He's absolutely still the villain. Right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
commissioner. Keep going. I'm listening.
So the plot by the commissioner, who does not want to work for a twice convicted criminal.
Yeah.
His plot is to resign and have, I guess, 1/3 of the police force all resign with him to cripple the city, so that in theory it would cause everybody to rile up and kick the mayor out. Right.
The city would be divided without Commissioner Gallo. Here we go. Assistance in this. Thank you for the jump start. In this. So back to episode 1 briefly, we talked about how BB, you know, like you adequately put it, hey, my uncle was not just a journalist, he was in charge of one of the newspapers. And Fisk was like, okay, I'll put a mental note on that. And what I like about Fisk's mentality, Machiavellian, like you said, understand your enemy. He knows she's going to be a problem, in my opinion, later, but she speaks the truth. If you can't get Gallo, you already lost this, not the election, but the support of the city. He's mayor right now, but you still need the cops in your pocket in order to make this work. And Gallo was like at the funeral, and he's right. He told him, like, you have a lot of nerve showing your face here. And just like it, and he was doing not the slow clap. I'm adding a scene here. Bravo, showed up to a funeral after it's already over. How many? You think, hey, I'm not the one who put him in this ground, Gallo. True, but you put plenty of other cops in here. Yeah. I mean, the guy's not letting up. He was like, listen,
it's brutal.
Brutal. It's true. He's like, you think for a minute I'm gonna let you be my boss? You have another thing coming. I got influence. You don't have nothing on me. See you later, Kingpin. So the scene you're talking about, again, I'm pretty good at this. Once I have a jump start. So Kingpin's holding a steak, the Philly's steak sandwich, whatever. Like, you ever been to this place? Oh my God, the food's marvelous, marvelous. Like you said, he's still got some of. What's that YouTube meme? He's still got the sprinkle of Kingpin in him. Right. He's like, oh my God, you've been to this place? It's good. What do you want, Fisk? Salt mate. Thank you. He was like, what do you want, Fisk? And I told you I'm done. In fact, here's my resignation letter. Oh, and just for the record, most of the force already agreed to early retirement, and I'm out, just letting you know. So good luck finding a replacement. Oh, before you go, I should tell you about this place. And he raises up the sub paperlet, and I should have had that scene here of him and his side family that he had, and never told his wife that he had a kid with somebody else. You know, it'd be a damn shame if places like this never. How can I put this? Goodfellas kind of way, giving you a hint. You know, like a baseball club. They're playing golf. Like, you know what? A club like this can do a lot of damage. That kind of thing. I can't get the dialogue right. And he was like, I'll stay on for right now. And he walks out the door. What can he do? Gallo, he got him. Either that or tell your wife, like, what's going on.
Well, not just that, but presumably Fisk would possibly kill his kid.
It's Kingpin. Yeah. Well, what am I talking about? That's the tip of the iceberg. You're absolutely right. The harder matter is I will do it. It used his own. What this did was, okay, what is his strength? What does he know about me? I'm the Kingpin. Okay, then use that fear. In my opinion, like, dude, I know about your kid. I can do this quietly. Nobody's got to know. In fact, your kid's already a secret to your wife. So what's stopping me? And that's what he did. And so now we're fast forwarding. Thank you for the jump start of what's going on here, Rich. To this scene. So Matthew, again, the victory what I'm talking about, he follows the detective to his place, like, hey, I got the address where the guy is that we need to actually follow up on, and we need to whack him before he makes court. And so this court ends up loose end. Nick Torres. Okay. Nick Torres was the cop that wants to kill the guy in the subway. Guys, I'm sorry if I don't have the name here. The only witness in a nutshell to what really happened to White Tiger, not that we know that who he is. And Matthew was like, hey, listen, I don't care how you do it. You got to get out of town. You got to leave right now. I don't even know you. Listen, I'm the lawyer who's going to make sure that nothing happens to you. And too late. They're already here. And the fact that he can sense heartbeats from that much distance, the guy was already on let's say even the second floor. He knows the cops were already there. Yeah. Testimony to Daredevil's abilities is amazing. So the dude gets out the window. I don't know if he made it. Did he make it, or did he stop? Okay.
No, he made
So
it.
yeah, he made it. All right. So there, Matthew is like, hey, sorry guys, he's gone. Nothing you can do here.
And this is so smart because if the cops had looked out the window, they would have caught him.
Yeah,
He probably would still be on the stairs or whatever. So
coming out of the fire escape. Yeah.
But if I was a cop and I like come in the front door and the lawyer is there waiting for me,
I'm thinking he'd been gone.
He's been gone. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. That's what I gathered.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
It is. And I even asked our random on YouTube on Facebook, and CJ's random, excuse me. I was like, hey, let me ask you guys a question before I started compiling all this. I'm gonna do the review. How did you feel about that scene? 70% on the polls said that, hey, you know what? I would assume he's been gone too. Only the other 30% said, no, I would at least checked out the window, blah, blah, blah. It's his damn lawyer. Remember, we know him as Daredevil. We know him as bending the rules and doing this stuff. The cops don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is that rage you were talking about, Rich. I listened to you. He's like, hey, so fellas, just call it quits. If you guys are here to whack somebody, sorry, you guys are screwed. He's long gone. He's like, okay, well, that's gonna be a problem, Mr. Blind Boy. So they start wailing on Matt, and Matt, you can see his Hulk, inner Hulk, like, okay, guys, give it up. Seriously, this is unnecessary. Beating Matt, like you said, he takes a pounding. They literally stomping on. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And Matt was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this shit. Beats the crap out of them. Are those cops dead?
So, right, like he was willing to let them do whatever they wanted to him up until the point that they were gonna kill him. Right? He was like, I can take a beating. So fine, do whatever you're gonna do. It's fine.
It's this part.
Yeah, that's where they drew the line, and he had to then make a decision to either end it or bring out some of the Daredevil. Yeah. But I think the cop that hit the and his neck broke is either dead or paralyzed. I think he's dead. But the other cop, I didn't see him die.
No, he slammed him against a wall, and then
he broke his arm in reverse or whatever, right? Because you see the blood come out of the back of his arm.
Mm-hmm. Either they're extremely wounded or they're extremely fucked up or extremely dead. And at the scene, it's like classic Murdoch. And I swear to God, his rage is so genuine. And the way that he plays this blind individual is so magnificent. Disney couldn't have picked anybody else to do this. They had to go with the original, on my take, coming back to this franchise. And he looks around and he looks like not out of rage, like it's back, because it's been building since Fisk.
Yeah.
But out of frustration, like, fuck, how do I clean this up? You won't know until tonight, folks. And it's like, wow. Like, dude, why do I get pushed this hard? You can see it all, the frustration, the rage, the like, my hands are tied. How long can I take this? And you are absolutely correct. He's like, okay, come on, let's get this over with. He's like, and he can't defend the guy if he's dead. It's not self-preservation, really, because Matthews is willing to die for his cause. It's the fact that I can't defend this guy if I'm dead.
Yeah, he would lose.
You have a choice.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys, let me know what your thoughts are. I think that was the very last scene. Richard, any of your thoughts? Yeah.
We should probably comment that, and this is very TV-ish, which I don't really like, but Fisk and Vanessa meet up with a new therapist who happens to be the same Heather that Matt is dating.
That might become a problem, actually, because therapists aren't allowed to. I went to therapy. I ain't gonna front. They're not allowed to share too many thoughts. Not too many. That's the whole point of going. This is about you. But somewhere, why is my gut telling me, like, okay, it's a big deal. First of all, they're sitting far from each other, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and it's obvious, like, they're having problems. Like, I want to take over the business. And I don't think Vanessa wants to give up that seat. I'm kind of glad you made me come back to that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we know Vanessa has not been participating in the mayor ceremonies. And that's been upsetting the traditional constituents who expect the wife to be by the husband's side. So we see some of that, and we know that in the first episode, he promised not to do anything. I guess maybe not do anything to Adam. And so, but then we know that his hands were bruised and bloody. So he probably killed Adam. And so here they are. Vanessa's like got to sit in this room with her violent husband. Who's the mayor, and she has to put on a good face to this therapist without saying, hey, this guy's the kingpin. But at the same time, the therapist knows who Fisk is. And when Vanessa says she's taken over the business, the therapist has to kind of know that the business of Fisk before he was in prison was Kingpin.
Well, not only that, if you paid attention to the exact moment, the scene that goes to the therapy, Fisk has his bodyguard Fixer. Can he sign this DOA? Yeah, the disclosure agreement, not to talk about this. It's obvious. NDA. Thank you. NDA. And it's obvious therapists don't do this anyway, but as an insurance, meaning to me, my interpretation, of course he knows. Not towards you, but how do you, but I see what you're getting at. It's obvious, but it's not. How do you talk about a matter that's public knowledge without making it uncomfortable? That public knowledge. Like, dude, I know you're the kingpin. So listen, it's basically her saying this. If I was in the scene, obviously they're going to go to a therapy scene. If not to this episode next week after. So Fisk, Vanessa, how do you feel about your husband being a murderous psychopath? Like, how do you go about that? Like, how do you avoid that? That's the core of the problem. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's a very interesting setup that I think we're going to see a lot more of in future episodes. We don't see a lot of it here, but obviously this keeps Fisk near Matt. Because Fisk didn't send these corrupt cops after White Tiger. So how do we keep Fisk still bouncing into Matt so that they can interact with each other? And well, now they're both seeing the same woman. One is dating and one is seeing. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Again, it feels like a very TV kind of, like, this would never happen in real life. Like, how many therapists are in New York? It just makes no sense for it to randomly happen this way, but it's fine. It's fun.
Right. All right. Well, I appreciate you again, Rich Mathis. Thank you for actually coming on, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that share, comment, subscribe button to CJack Productions and Ignis Umbra. Check out both channels, and also check out Rich's blog on his up-to-date notes on these last 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Catch another episode of Daredevil Deciphered every Tuesday night. I'll give you guys a heads up of the previous episode prior to the episode that you're watching right now. So that way spoilers aren't interrupted, and you guys can watch it at your own pace, or you guys can just enjoy it. All right. Take care of yourselves and each other.
All right. Bye, everyone.